We're here today. My name is Cassandra. We're doing content cast on the fly. We're here discussing the example of leading by example within the organization of going into the mall and being asked to leave, which is fun. It's really interesting to me based on what we see on the platforms. Based on what we see on the platforms, people are filming people when they're asking to not be filmed. Now you want to take a look at I only did 2 pieces of content, which was it's such a, it's hard to tell you guys because this is a mall that I used to go to when I was a child, like 9 years old, 10 years old. We would go to the movies and all those different things, right? They used to have a place called the Barrel of Fun, which were video games, and you would go in there and you would play video games. And it's completely changed. I even felt like I kind of got lost because they switched around the food court. I was like, where am I? My sister used to work in the movie theater actually in that location too. So I used to go there quite a bit when I was in my teen years. And holidays there, you would go sit on Santa's lap, and then you would walk the mall, and you'd always see people that you knew. And so this was a kind of mind-blowing to me that some child who's in his 20s would have the gall to come up to me and to ask me not to film the wall. Literally was filming the wall. So really take that into account as you watch those 2 videos, that I was filming the wall, and know that the Democrats have taken over small town in control. So I live in Georgia, and Georgia has always been a red state. And they moved in Black Lives Matter community to terrorize the people not to get votes. Let's just put it that way. The old days of black and white was we used to get along really well and work together really well and have a lot of fun together at work. And nowadays they are acting like complete orangutans. You're acting like orangutans. And you can see that with the woman who has been voted into office. The Chicago people, who the audience is not the orangutan, by the way, lady. You want to know the difference, that there is racism within racism. The woman who stands up against the Chicago mayor, who is who I'm talking about, because what's trying to happen now is they're trying to make us argue. Yet we're actually on the same side, because I want that Chicago mayor to be destroyed. You do realize that we are in a civil war, correct? And that it all stems from the Republicans. Because the Republicans don't want to do what the Democrats want to do, which is what? Give you free money. Do you get how they just inserted those words and how I made it the correct way of viewing? However, I also reworded it so you could understand it. So you all want to destroy people, whereas the Republicans want to help people. Republicans want to help people, while Democrats want to destroy them. They're the ones that said there was a separation between white and black. I'm not giving you any more sympathy for what you've done, because you've done some really horrible things. See, now your own people are turning on you. And that's how it's going to happen. It's just early stages of it, and you're trying to fight for your life. However, you're part of the problem. You voted him into office because you thought you were going to get free shit. That's what Obama did to us. He's not even a black American, by the way. He's Pakistani. Would that be Middle Eastern, correct? He even says in his autobiography that he spent time in Pakistan. So now your country, Black American, is being taken over by Venezuelans and Persians and Indians and anybody else that these celebrities have decided to marry that are not American. Like, for example, it's weird that Blake Lively married a Canadian. Jonas married an Indian. Gary's dating a Persian. Some white girls with the Saudi Arabian. One thing you as an American should know, never, ever, ever be in a relationship with a Middle Eastern. You will not thrive. You will not succeed. You do not understand that culture. Have you ever seen Not Without My Daughter? And women are trying to take the roles of men, and they've learned a lot from how men have treated women throughout the centuries. So in today's event that happened with me standing in front of a wall filming a video, educating you on how to get comfortable with creating content in public. It's hard for people to create content in public. You do understand that, right? Even for people who are just filming themselves with not speaking, they're actually just videoing themselves and then they're talking over themselves as they create content. Meaning they are like in the slide doing it on the side. And then they go back and they do a voiceover. And then it looks like they're confident when they're really not confident. They're just sitting there while someone else is filming them, like they're famous. Kim Kardashian, look at her. She can't even go into a public place like a bar without having it staged. It's all staged. They just have the money ability to stage it. So there's extremes where there's the buffoons who act like complete morons at a club and get the raunchiest content, which all goes viral, which means that all the filth is being pushed in our faces and anything of value is being left behind. See, what you don't really fucking realize is that this is the evolution of man. See, evolution of man works in advancement, but you can also unwind advancement. It's called idiocracy. Corporate America likes it because the more dumb you are, the more likely they'll get your cash. You can't even see opportunity as a small business to allow people to film within your organization. You can't even see the opportunity that there is in front of you as a natural ability to just allow your staff to help you with marketing. So instead you bitch and moan how you're not making enough money. However, we know that teenagers are extremely inappropriate. However, those are the pieces of content that the government wanted to go viral. So we've got the rich going viral, we've got the worst going viral, we've got the Middle Eastern interjecting into our live content, we've got the Democrats who are now all over the platforms, we've got people that the Democrats have paid to force people into not being able to produce content. I mean, this is the worst that could ever possibly happen to this country. Americans who believe in Democrats are the worst humans that have ever existed. And that means from the day one that you started in democracy as a Democrat. If you like Hillary Clinton, you're a horrible person. You should have seen the video I made previous to this, Gary Vaynerchuk, in association to how you've been treating me, because who knows if you're red or blue? I'm sitting in a chair that someone who is a Democrat has sat in, which is where it all stems from. The lack of fairness in this country isn't black or white. It's rich versus poor. It's the manipulation tactic of a slutty woman to a man who's willing to agree to her behavior. And that's really the bottom line. You might want to rewind that one again to listen to that again. Anytime you show up in a photograph with a woman who is a slimeball slut, you are agreeing to that behavior. And we know there's more coming. I wonder how many more people are going to have to die before something's going to get done. Now, you heard what I said. I wonder how many more people are going to have to die before we get something done, before you actually move your feet, before you actually speak the truth that you claim to portray. I'm talking about each big business that's out there right now. Johnson & Johnson, Sam's Club. Remember when I applied for the Sam's job, but you decided that you didn't want me buying groceries for people, so you decided not to hire me. However, the entire building's full of Black Lives Matter community. And so then I went on my platform, I made a video about you. Well, you then tried to proceed to tell me how you were such a nice person. My own town turning their back on me because I will refuse to fall into the slave labor of what you decided you wanted to accept as women like Mona Van educating you on Persian style of living. Sarah Trotta. How's it feel to be the low man on the totem pole now because you can't hurt me like you did before? See, she used to take knives and stab me in the back, in the chest, in the throat while I was so hard trying to work a room full of awful people. As she takes on a fake personality when she's really a psycho bitch who has an OnlyFans page where her big fat titties are all up in people's faces, including the boss's, Daniel. That's real world stuff, y'all. That's who's waiting on your children. That's who's serving your children chicken fingers and french fries while they pretend to laugh in your face, but really what they're doing behind your back is demonically trying to steal your money and your soul. It's kind of like that movie with Justin Timberlake where they had Numbers of Time. How the hell do you think that these old ass women who are famous stay young looking? Is they don't have any worry. They don't have any work ethic. It's not just plastic surgery. It's robbing you of your confidence. And so there is a take responsibility role in that, but there's also a power trip that occurs from confidence, that comes from a sexy body, that comes from someone asking, well, how did you do that? That is if you're not humble. Because someone who's actually really up to changing the world and helping other people, it's not an easy game. Which means that what we're watching with Mona Van, surrounded by Gary Vee, is nothing more than boring ass trophy bullshit. And I literally have shown you the bias of one person to the next, while you, who's a celebrity, Gary Vaynerchuk, support that shit. You support Tyler, who literally is a violent criminal. And the list goes on and on. He is not the only one, Elon Musk. You all are the leaders, Michael Rubin. Even Jay-Z, you are the leader. However, you're a diabolical leader who steals. You're not a good person. You live in darkness. You think running around with your pants down to your ankles and rapping while you blare it in your car is success. How does that help me? And I'm poor and I'm dying over here. How does that help me in energetic form for me to look at you as you think you're better than me? Is that a good leader? For you to collect money for reform when the reality is you're actually just keeping yourselves out of jail. So you do bad behavior, you all donate to the bad behavior, and then we have to watch prostitutes like Kim Kardashian walk the runway. While they then proclaim it's for charity, which we never see any results except for cookie cutter pictures of black kids. And why black kids? Good question. Because that's how dumb you are. Let's see if there's any prisoner Who can say that this reformation ever assisted them in getting out of jail? Yeah, I didn't think so. Let's talk about what happened with Biggie or what happened with Tupac. Because what they dealt with is the same shit that I'm dealing with. But I'm a girl and I have white skin. So if you don't think that it doesn't happen to us, it's just because that we're not in the big spotlight. And usually women like me end up sucking dick and getting married, and they get in contracts with dudes, and then they support them the entire time. And that's all you're watching with these women, by the way. So if you're sitting there supporting any female influencer, you definitely have mental problems. If you think Kamala Harris is a leader, you got mental problems, and you need to check your energy, because I can definitely tell those of you who are standing in the spotlight trying to get some, no one's above the law. Well, what about Jay-Z? He's above the law. So is Kim Kardashian. They're above the law. They're all above the law. So everything that happened in the mall today is just a prime example of how we do not live in equal land, and how you all as Black people have been capitalizing off your big fake story for so long. And all you've ever wanted for yourself is to feel control for other people, not for yourselves. Versus work hard. Versus work hard, Denzel Washington. Oh, heaven forbid you actually have a real conversation to get real results. Except for blast out your nasty energy. And we're taking your vote away. We're taking your vote away. We're taking your vote away. That's so unfair. I'm a ghetto. Now that's normal for them, but that's acceptable. That's acceptable. Because that's just showing their strength as a woman. Or Mona Van, who's erotic and exotic and seduction, and that's normal too. While you all rally around her and protect her pussy from all the bad dudes who are gonna come after her because her feet are on a porn site. While they terrorize America. And they have hired these little twats known as millennial Gen Zs that you say that they're not lazy. Really, you should have seen how slovenly this kid looked with his shirt hanging out, and he didn't even know what the fuck he was talking about. And that's how people's careers get stopped in social media. An instant like that would send someone crying to their house and never producing another piece of content. And not because they're a weak individual. It's because it's like the straw that broke the camel's back. That's what it feels like in suppression. That's what it feels like with the Democratic Party. Can I get a break, Gary V? Can I get a fucking break? How fucking dare you take me to fucking court, by the way, for being a stalker, and then you have that woman who's pregnant say, oh, once I had a stalker and we pretended to be pregnant, blah, 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 blah. It's called a reality television show, bitch. Y'all are all part of it. Why can't I make up my own shit? I don't give two fucking shits what that dude does. But my name better be out there and people better start listening to what I got to fucking say. There are plenty of fish in the fucking sea. And guess what? I was on that dating website too, Gary V. So you go ahead and you prance around with that little pussy ass bitch who literally everyone knows is a dumbass cocksucker. And you better believe every time I'll come out on top. calling you out on your fucking bullshit. Because you ain't helping me. You're only hurting me. You ain't as nice as you think you are, because you should have seen the last 6 years and how you've tried to destroy me. That ain't normal. You're not normal. What you've done to me, none of you, all of you, is not fucking normal. That doesn't matter if you're a man, a woman, or a fucking child. None of you are fucking normal. It's sad to know that you could have had it all. It could have been like Disneyland, like really like Disneyland, if you would have just shut the fuck up and let me do my fucking job. You try doing it on this side, motherfucker, while I'm sitting here watch you fuck a bitch on camera. While you glory hole yourself all over the fucking internet as if you're up to something really great. As you fucking destroy V-Friends with your cocksucker Tyler. While you're hanging out with little millennial twats acting like they up to something when they really up to nothing. I could literally do every country you're working in and make 10 times better content. Just give me 30 days. Go make that money, everybody. Go make that money. Go make that money. It's actually why you're all fucking here. You're all here to make money, aren't you? Literally, you're all really, honestly, all here just to make money. And for some reason, all of you fandomhood and followers are like, yeah, let me pay her for makeup. Ooh, yeah, I like that. Let me go make some money so I can go pay Kim Kardashian to show up at a fucking party and abuse a child. Let me show up to another fucking party with Michael Rubin with the All In Challenge. Where did the money for the All In Challenge go, Michael Rubin? Who was affected by that? Did you feed the government there too? Was that how voter fraud was created? And what's your role in all this, Gary Vee? Who's to say that you're even a really good person based on what I've seen so far? I'm working. Doesn't really look like it to me. Looks like you're prancing around with a prostitute bitch with your dick hanging out in your fucking hand while she's stroking it. Literally, the reform meeting is example of who you've become. I don't give a shit what the fucking Democrats have to say. Do you fucking hear me, Democrats? Fuck you. Y'all don't know shit about shit. Y'all are dumb as fuck. Do you hear me? You have no brain on your shoulders at all, Obama. You're not good at your fucking jobs. What part of that can y'all not see in what they're fucking putting out? Because you like La Land? The actions do not match the words, folks. The only action you see is me getting kicked out of a facility for using a blank wall. Because the Democrats are controlling everything you think and you do. And it's only going to get fucking worse. Wait till you see the next phase of content creators. They're more in the form of what Bobby Bitch is up to.